Hi Michelle, great to be on the programme. Yeah, that's right. Rishi Sunak, the Prime Minister, has just left a meeting of his entire backbench in the so-called 1922 committee meeting, trying to rally the troops ahead, before the Easter break. MPs rise from here for about a 20-day break next Tuesday. At the same time as that, as you've been hearing on the news there from Polly, peers have inflicted repeated defeats on the government's attempts to push through this Safety of Rwanda bill, 3 and counting. I now expect all 7 attempts by the House of Lords to weaken the Safety of Rwanda bill to be voted through, which means it will go back to the House of Commons probably next week, and then that indeed will return after the Easter break in a week starting April the 15th. That is the week I expect this bill, first set out by Boris Johnson 2 years ago, 3 Prime Ministers ago, to become law, and maybe flights might take off in May, and maybe just after a disastrous local elections. But I'm going too far ahead of the game there. And with me now is Jonathan Guillis, a Tory MP from the Red Wall in the Midlands. Jonathan, you were in that meeting there with Rishi Sunak. How was he?
I think he was in good spirits, and actually he was doing a really good job of rallying the troops, reminding us about our record in government since 2010. Lots to be proud of, from introducing the national living wage, introducing the triple lock, and of course in latter years being the first to fund and roll out a vaccine, introduce a furlough scheme, and was making it very clear to the tiny minority who are seemingly trying to undermine him that you won't undermine him, you undermine every colleague and the Conservative Party, and that those who are doing this have no interest in helping the Conservative Party. It's quite clear to me their sole aim is to seek to destroy it, and I won't let them win.
But if a rebel was here with you now, they would say, look at the polls, Jonathan. The polls are set in stone at 20 points behind Labour. It's not working. Why not find a leader who can lift that polls and go towards where Labour is?
I'd remind them that Sir Keir Starmer himself polls extremely negatively against the Labour Party brand and is seen as a perpetual flip-flopper, which, by the way, he is. I'd also remind them that actually there's about 40% of the electorate who are currently undecided at this present moment in time, and that Labour lead, therefore, is very soft. What they want to see, the voters, is competence and delivery, which is why, despite the House of Lords being pesky with the Safety of Rwanda bill, we will tell them where to go when it comes back to our end. We will get it on the statute books. We will get a flight off to Rwanda. And when we do, you'll see a big shift in the polls, as well as making sure that we see inflation get down to 2%, interest rates being cut, and people feeling the impact of those tax cuts in their pocket. When we have that election in the second half of this year, believe me, there'll be a very clear and distinctive choice. Mr Flip-Flopper or Rishi Sunak, and I know which I will be voting for, because I'll be interested in voting for who I think my children will be best looked after under, and that's Rishi Sunak.
What are the odds, Jonathan, on your PM, Mr Sunak, leading your party in the next election right now?
100%.
You heard there a rousing support there for the PM, Rishi Sunak, after this meeting with 1922 committee a few yards away from I'm standing now. From Jonathan Guillis.
Christopher, thank you very much for that.